They could be loving life right now. Are they going to continue their triple trend? We'll have to see going against Penta. But they won't be attacking just yet. Zakia will be attacking first against Boom's base here, using a couple of limbs there on that 11 o'clock side. We'll have to deal with a couple of bits and pieces there, but also starting with the Warden on that right-hand side.
And so the Warden's shaping up the path here. Now, he's got a long moving approach, and we don't even have the Electro out to help out in this one. It's a Unicorn to keep this going. Ideally, I would think he wants to see taking down the scatter shot. When we're doing these Wardens, we want to pick off some good value. Anything that would flank your pathing, knock out your healers, and this is one of those things. But he had the storages blocking them, which is taking this so much longer to get through. Finally does get it done, and you can see how quickly he drops the Queen to keep this moving along, because these time-consuming Warden walks can really run you down at the end for any of these Smash-style attacks.
Queen's coming in just to speed things up momentarily. Like you said, with the Warden just having a nice slow pace, methodical approach on that 4 o'clock compartment now, but the Queen will continue to speed things up here, just going towards those storages. But of course, you've got to remember that Eagle artillery there is going to be so important. And here comes the Peckers now to give that nice dosage of DPS for Zakia to push on into that compartment. Beautiful stuff from him as he will continue this push now. And also look at the North compound as well, with the fact that the King just popping the ability in the Inferno Tower. But here comes the Blimpy.
Blimp's coming through, times that perfectly to get the Warden ability off, and that helps to keep everything safely through. A lot of damage in the center of the base as they're contending with the CC troops. We have the super minions, of course, but they're in the poison spell, so quickly taken down by the super wizards. The Blimp does make it there, does get the town hall down, and he had a beautiful push into the core, though we can see the healers actually stay on the super wizards as the Pekkas take the lead over. But where is the Queen? The Queen died out early on, which means we won't have her to help out for the back end of the base. A lot of this work is going to rely on the Royal Champion, but he did path it so that he eliminated a lot of the heavy hitting damage, but there still are some ground bows to worry about. I noticed one down by the Archer Tower. That's some long range items that the Royal Champ needs to get through, but she's not going to have a lot of time to do this. Only 29 seconds left to go, and that brings us back around to the time issue we were talking about, though. An invisibility spell will try and keep this alive. The Freeze holding off the ground bow, and the Archer Tower finally dropped that, but the Royal Champ can't do much more at this point.
No, it really can't indeed. 10 seconds left. It was a very good effort, though. Very good try to recover from earlier on. The RC did everything it could in its power to try and take the rest of the defenses. Just didn't have enough HP to continue on with that attack. And even if it could, it would have been a time fail anyway, nonetheless, with a couple of bits left over. But in terms of that, though, 2-star, 91%. Can't complain, really, in all fairness, considering what we saw halfway through.
Definitely not. 91%, not a bad spot. The only thing that I would say would be worrisome is Atn coming off of a perfect war, because there's really no competing at that point. If you have any slip up against a team that's coming in perfect today, and I believe perfect yesterday, it becomes a bit of a tough go. I gotta attribute this to Linnaid being back in action, a little bit more of that just normalcy in the team, what they were used to, working together through the World Championships, through the qualifiers this year, might I add, because they were able to make their way into the World Championship finals for this year with Linnaid on their side during the May qualifier. So there's a little more jive going back on with the team that I think has helped out quite a bit. We'll see if that keeps moving forward, though, as Vala kicks it off for Atn with the Zapquake Hydra. So we look to pick off some good value along the outskirts, spreading out those lightning spells just to pick up a little bit more. Now, he unfortunately does not get down the X-bow, but I don't think that'll be too critical. We'll have to wait and see. Builder just getting it back up to par, and the Dragons will be fine for that. Just need to make the passage through with the Blimp, cutting across to get to the Town Hall. But I do like the E-Drag, helping to shape up more pathing and cleanup.
I think you were saying earlier on about this lineup back to normality in terms of their synergy with each other. I completely agree with that, because people can play a little bit differently, and sometimes it's just not, you know, in terms of the player's fault or it's a substitute or anything like that. Just things can play out a little bit differently here. And Vale, once again, another very very aggressive attack. He did it earlier on in his last series against Tribe. Back to do it once more. He's very confident approaching this base, and already so much of it has been taken out, and there's still 2 minutes left to play as the Drags on that right side looking to take out that 4 o'clock compartment with that Inferno Tower and the AD there. And you can see the RC just lending a hand to Speak of the Devil on that 4 o'clock side as well, just to make sure to give the Warden a little bit of a helping hand as well as that Dragon Rider. But the Dragon Rider will get cleaned up in that other compartment. But look on the left-hand side, the Queen is still there, continuing to wreak absolute havoc. The King still got a lot of life in him yet, just popping his ability now to clean up the rest of his structures. And I must say, Pete, that was a beautiful performance. Look how much time's left.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's talk about the fact that his King and Royal Champ just forcing their abilities as he makes the push into the final compartment here. But that's because of the beautiful pathing he set. I love the rocket loons, that E-drag that shaped up the path, the rocket loons to take down the air defense, and that all cleared what the blimp needed to take it on. But his pathing was already set, sectioning through into the center of the base with obviously the King and Queen flanking for that and continuing the push. Absolutely stunning, and I mean, we would expect nothing less from our MVP of 2020 World Championships, Vala.
Love her Vala as well. It's funny because every single time he attacks, it is with a super aggro, and we really have to be prepared. Even his casters, we have to prepare because he just dissects everything down to a T. Such a great methodical approach every single time round, and he really gets a huge amount of value from every single troop possible. Good work with him using the RC on the 4 o'clock position to give that Warden and Dragon Rider a little bit of a help in hand, but let's be real here, he was absolutely nowhere near a time fail, and it's just a pleasure to watch every single time. But we do have Muffin from Penta to try and help Penta recover if they can. They did have a 2-star, 91% in their first attack, and he's going to be looking to try and recuperate from that performance. So we'll see how things go here with the King coming in from that right-hand side with the Ice Golem there as well, just to tank some of that damage, giving the King a little bit of lead way as well. But so far so good here for Muffin.
Oh, those healers suffering from the scatter shot, and the Queen is already down.
No.
This is not good for Muffin. When you invest a Queen charge, you cannot lose your Queen, and equally, I mean, losing those healers as well means nothing is going to get any benefit. The King, the Royal Champion, there is no way to try and turn this one back to a recovery. Even if he is bringing in the super tanky Drag Riders, it's very reliant on shaping up your path. Scatter remains. He can still try and force in the Royal Champion, but he's got heroes to still contend with because we still have the Royal Champ who's up and alive. Yes, we do have some headhunters. I'm looking around to see where the Queen is on the board. She was taken down by the defending king, or by the King, but still the pathing is nowhere near what it needs to be. And I got to tell you, it looks like Muffin's scrambling a bit right now. We're going to see everything clumping together towards the town hall because he's just worried about getting the 2-star, a little bit of a spread out, but some of these Drag Riders making the path right in through the poison bomb, the Warden as well, which means it is suffering hard. The Royal Champ will come in just to pick up a little bit more value, but I mean, he's got to get to this 50% mark in order to secure a 2-star. That Royal Champ's got a lot of work, forcing everything into that town hall. It was a big mistake, but it seemed like a panic push.
Yeah, I find this really peculiar because it's not really I've seen something Muffin do in the past, and it's just, you know, yeah, in terms of the plays, in terms of like the pushes he made, yeah, it was a bit debatable, but I think you are right. Like, you know, the panic ban probably was pushed. He felt a lot of pressure there, and he was probably thinking, well, if I just continue on from the 3 o'clock side, go towards the town hall, hopefully straight after, as long as it's taken down, that's a guarantee, and he can try and look for that 50%. So he should be able to here, consider if he can get as much work out of that RC as possible, especially with that invisibility spell. But looking at that, the RC trying his best to stay alive, does hit that 50%, mind you, B. But the only problem is, you are right though, the damage has already been done. 51% so far, 2 stars. He's going to be really frustrated about that. And we said it before this matchup even started, is that if you want to play against alternate attacks, you need to play as close to perfection with very minimal error, but there was a few major errors in that one.
Wow, I completely looked away from the Queen when she died out. I'm not quite sure what happened.
Yeah,
I have to take a look at the replay, but that was unfortunate. I just saw the healers getting targeted, and I'm like, wait, where is the Queen? Oh, that was a tough blow there for for Muffin, and you got to give it to him for the recovery. Just got there with the 51%, but you know, this means it's almost no turnaround. And, you know, I'm taking a quick look at the replay as I see the queen coming down. Healers were slightly delayed. She just took on way too much firepower. And the problem was he never dropped a rage quick enough. He was too focused on getting the king down, getting the funnel set, that the queen suffered too much damage. A little bit off his mark there on that one. And that is going to cost them any possibility, I would say at this point, of turning a match against ATN around. Linnade, though, looking to continue to go strong. We have seen ATN going perfect in their last 2 matches, today included. And I don't think that they're looking to go easy on Penta.
No, they're not at all. I think the only thing we could say about that last matchup early on, it was just a matter of map awareness. Maybe he didn't expect so much DPS to come out there from Atn.Attax, and that's why I was saying at first. It's like it was looking good, but literally as I said that, I saw the healers getting hit by the scatter shot, and that's when it was like, okay, he's going to be in deep trouble. But even if he recovers, he can't improvise for a 3-star. No way on earth he would have been able to here. But Linnade, though, is going to try and make matters worse, sadly, for Penta. He's going to be one going in from the 1 o'clock side, pushing towards that Town Hall compartment with the Queen Unicorn and the healers there, just tanking all that DPS. He's going to deal with the Expos as well, so it's going to be a very good start from him. And you can see just a couple of those minions there on the right-hand side, just making start on their clean-up duty there. So the Queen, again, taking out that storage. We'll be moving on to Town Hall momentarily as the rage spell does come down to finish that up, just to make sure for extra insurance. But so far, so good, though. We have to see where this Queen is going to take in terms of her path from the funneling.
I like the position of this Drag Rider that we saw come in kind of from like the 230 side of the base, because it was almost looking like it was veering to help cut across and get towards the scatter shot compartment, trying to be mindful of his pathing here. We do have the Warden working together, has yet to use the ability. Wow, where are we going to send this blimp? Finally gets it through for the scatter shot. I'm surprised he didn't open it up sooner. But this also helps reserve this Warden ability. The path was cleared, so he was able to get the blimp in without having to force it, so he can reserve it for the back end as he makes the push into the multi. There we go, coming over, and that also clips the Royal Champion, who is invincible now as she takes on some of the ground defenses working underneath these Drag Riders. Queen coming in strong, healed up, ready to go, and we've got 52 seconds left on the clock, an unnecessary freeze, and Linnade is saying no mercy.
Yeah, those Dragon Riders came out in perfect sync, in perfect coordination. It was just absolute madness. And Linnade is showing him that is how he's going to be attacking. That's how he's done it all the way through the ESL Mobile Challenge. Another 3-star, which means for Atn.Attax today, they're going for 7 for 7 in terms of triples, and there's absolutely no letting down. But let's have a look so far for what we've seen in the last 4 attacks. So sadly for Penta, they did start with a 2-star 91%, which was not bad, but a little bit of a blunder there from Muffin, which is very uncharacteristic of him, getting that 2-star and just barely able to get it with the RC right at the very end and managed to get that 51%. So instead of star running, you know, that's great, but from that percentile, 51%, they have to outstar Atn.Attax. But let's be real though, they haven't got their best attackers come out yet at this point. They've still got 3 left, and it's looking very, very highly unlikely.
I can't see ATN making that many mistakes in these wars, because at this point they just need to really play it safe for the most part. This percent differential is just such a huge gap that they wouldn't run too many risks, though I'm sure they want to secure at least 1 more 3-star in this one. And I think they're going full steam ahead on it for another potential perfect war, though, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a little bit of a trip up. I can't imagine going 3 back-to-back perfect wars. Come on now.
Well, you know, we've we might do.
Some might call that the reverse jinx.
Well, do you know what? You might have jinxed him in the right way, because there's one thing you did point out, actually, and it's the fact that the element of caution there, B. The fact that with that element of caution, they may use that purposely just to make them secure the war over the perfect war. But do you know what? We're not going to lie. Atn.Attax are absolute perfectionists down to a T, so they're going to try and get everything done in any way possible here. So let's have a look. So far, the Queen has gone down from the south side. It has been 45 seconds into this attack of Epi. And Epi, we have seen him a couple of times. Normally, he's one of the last attackers for Penta, but it looks like he's going to be jumping in 3rd time round. So looking very good so far. Using that loon as well from the south side to see if he can find anything along the way from that paving, but the sweeper's going to keep him back just for a fair bit. Not the path he wanted to take in order to find any of his traps, but either way, though, the Queen is still trying to funnel on through.
And I like this pathing for the Queen, sending in the Yeti Blimp to help clear the course, taking down one of the Infernos. That's going to keep her and the healers safe as they make the approach into the Town Hall. Also helps to navigate the pathing a little bit further through, though we do have an additional wall break. I'm not sure if it's going to be for the Queen here, so she can kind of pick up the multi in the center of the base, which I don't know if that's what he's looking to do, or if it's going to be the King to get more value out of it. Either way, we do have the King on the outskirts to help force this hybrid along. Again, this is an attack strategy that we don't often get to see. The hybrid, it's very specific right now because it's not an easy meta to be bringing in ground troops, particularly with the extra level up with the giant bombs, and also having to re-navigate your pathing and get that Queen to take on the Town Hall. But he still does have this wall break, and the Queen could potentially push into the core, but he does not use it yet. Pathing for this hybrid is superb so far, and the King has a ton of value continuing moving across the outskirts.
Yeah, he's going to continue being a pain in the backside along that 2 o'clock side. But you can see in the center as well, they are making that push into the multi-inferno tower. Will get taken up by the RC. RC still able to stay alive there with the Expo now, just making sure to try and do as much damage as possible to try and keep it at bay, but won't be able to do enough. The Eagle Artillery is actually prioritizing the RC here. The RC is going to be like, no, that's enough from you, mate. We're going to take you down right away. And it will be able to clean up, as well as that Wizard Tower straight afterwards.
Oh no!
Coming a little bit of Blackthorn traps, but you can see the RC still continue to take down that scanner shot, which should be okay there. But look at the time, 15 seconds left, only a couple of bits left to done, including that storage. It looks like it's going to be perfectly fine for Epi, as he will bag the first 3-star for Penta.
Those poor miners and hogs. I know he had it, but I felt so bad for them getting pounded away as the Skelly's distracted. I mean, even that Eagle got kind of its last final shot on them, as the scatter shot also landed a nasty blow, did them in. But the power of the Royal Champ, the Queen, that wall break on the back end was beautiful because it allowed her to help sneak her way around, take care of some of the cleanup. So superb work there from Epi. And again, I'd love to see our percentages on the hit rate for these hybrids, for these hog attacks, because I feel like because it is a lot harder to do, we have these players who are specifically sticking to the bases that they've identified they will have the most success. And I think we'd probably see a higher percent rate, even though we don't see quite as many of them. But we do have Boom coming in with I was hoping to see the Blizzard Lalo. This is something that he has been excelling at, but he does come in with the Queen Charge. Oh my, whoa. Hold up, because I see 12 Valks here coming in for this Queen Charge. Oh my goodness. Okay, lethal. We never get to see Valks in this game except to maybe help with some funnel here and there, but he's going all in, which means he's likely going for a big push with the Queen.
Do you know what? When you were talking like that, I looked, I was like, there's 12 Valks in this composition. As soon as you went, whoa, I was like, she's going to mention a Valk straight away. As soon as you were talking about that, as the Queen was coming in. So let's see how this is going to pan out for Boom. And what you said about the Hog Riders as well, I completely agree. We saw a lot of it back in Playday 4, didn't we? And now we're going to see what's going to happen now on that northern side, with Warden now coming up with the King Yak as well, pushing it into that 11 o'clock compartment. The Queen is actually almost rejoined with the rest of the pack here, just continuing to take out the rest of the defense in that 2 o'clock side. But excited to see how this attack pans out.
Oh my goodness, I'm like a kid on Christmas Day. I'm sitting here, arms up in the air, I'm clapping because we got to see this from Yo-Yo. Ground Warden comes in, Valks working with the King, with the Ground Warden to secure the value. Queen charging through the base. You gotta give it to him. Like, this kind of creativity, this kind of recognition to see that you can pick up massive value with the Valks, with the heroes split across. We do see the Royal Champ taking advantage of the King, continuously tanking, who has just forced his ability. The Queen still has hers alive to get through. Once the scatter shot goes down, there's really nothing to worry about. And he's even got a baby dragon, he's got a hog, he's got wizard, he's got a headhunter, and he's got an invisibility spell here. Nothing is going to stop him. Man, I love seeing this attack. Second time I've seen it. Yo-Yo was the first person who did it for ATN a couple wars back, not during this tournament, but during a community tournament. And it is absolutely stunning. Just shows the exceptional level of ATN that, come on, think about the courage to come in with an unconventional attack like that nobody is using and just absolutely hammer it down.
Well, it's something I've definitely not seen as a, massive rarity indeed. But I wonder who told Boom about that composition. I wonder who told him about it. I wonder. But yeah, we already know who told him anyway. Yo-Yo's obviously given a few little ideas on what he could do in terms of attacking that base with that composition. But that was actually ridiculous. That was really well thought out. You can see, don't get me wrong, Yo-Yo is one of those players. You can tell he will take everything into consideration. You've seen his spell list when he actually goes out on full throttle with his attacks, with his executions against a number of different players' bases. But you can see Yo-Yo's got a few elements given to him to Boom, and Boom's obviously taken a lot of information of what maybe Yo-Yo's saying to how to at least execute that to the best of his ability. But that was remarkable, and he still had 40 seconds left as well on top of that.
Really did. I got to look at these bases again and really try and break it down and analyze it, why they're going for certain compartments, But typically when we're seeing this, we are seeing some spread out value that the Queen can pick up and has her own course, as you saw. She was able to keep on her separate course. The Valks get so much value from working with the King, working with the Warden, and that was all in one open compartment. So they didn't have to break through walls. So that's kind of like the one common denominator that we're seeing, but I'm definitely going to have to do some breakdown and talk to the guys about it. But we do have GK Tim coming in. I'm sorry, that's a tough show to follow up. We said it about Timtastic, but I think Boom has taken the trophy for today in amazing attacks. GK Tim, though, coming in with the Drag Rider Bat combination, and this is a very powerful strategy, but we'll keep an eye to see what splash damage remains for the Bats on the back end.
Yeah, the Rocket Loon coming in right at the very get-go to take down that AD. The Blimp's gone in as well to take out that Town Hall there. Nicely done there. Pretty standard stuff in that southern compartment. And you can see now a couple of loons coming from the 10-11 Lecoq side to see if you can find anything particular. We'll take down a couple of mortars with them along the way. But here comes the King and both the Queen as well. The King tanking that damage going into that compartment, with the Queen trying to support the best of her ability. But they do a little bit of defenses, but he'll be perfectly fine. He hasn't popped his ability as of yet, but he will do momentarily, as he will go straight for that Eagle Artillery. Nicely done here so far by GK Tim, and looking very good so far. Let's see how it's going to happen with the next bulk of the attack once the King's already pushed on through.
Yeah, he's really narrowed out the path here for the Drag Riders, particularly on this backside of the base where the scatter shot remains. I'm curious to see where he's going to start it off, if he's going to kind of bring it up where he has the wider spread. Yes, indeed, where we have the scatter shot, because we do have some splash damage to worry about. We have the Wizard Tower up top, and as we make our way down towards the side, you can see the Wizard Tower down there. We do have the double combination on the back end, but there's only a single there, so he's going to have to reserve these freezes and likely the Royal Champ to do a little bit of distraction for the scatter shot and the Wizard Tower down at 7 o'clock here. Some Rocket Loons, though, sneaking in. The main pack of these Dragon Riders working through, but do not make their way fully into the center of the base. Let's see what this Baby Drag can do.
See what it can do indeed, but there's still a fair amount left. Having a look around so far in terms of what defenses are left, he's still got an AD there on that 9 o'clock side towards the very end. Still got a scatter shot, still a couple of Inferno Towers as well, so still a fair amount to deal with. But look what he's got left as well, just a couple of Dragon Riders, just the minions to clean things up. Not really a huge amount, but don't get me wrong, the RC has come in into the center, popped this ability very early, just trying to keep it alive for as long as possible. And you saw that it was already struggling very quickly. We weren't really too sure how it was going to survive, but we must say from Tim, good awareness from him to make sure to try and get as much value out of that as possible. But sadly, it did die in the center. The Batso trying to do what it can against that Inferno Tower on the 9 o'clock side. But I must say, though, trying to do everything it can, but doesn't actually take it down. But the other Bats have come in to try and clean it up nicely, or the best of its ability nonetheless. But 25 seconds left, still got that Dragon Rider, still got that defensive Queen as well. But you've got still got a huge amount of minions there, just trying to keep the percentile as high as possible. So a little bit of a shame there. Did try and take that Inferno Tower numerous times on numerous different occasions, but it just did not happen. But sadly for him, won't get the 3-star, but will hit around an 86% percentile overall with those 2 stars. So good try from Tim, but just wasn't good enough against Lenade's defense.
Yeah, I was curious about the radius of that wizard tower to the scatter shot if he was going to bat bomb it, because you did see it firing away. It did knock off some of the bats, which actually could have made a difference. He didn't freeze it. He held on to those freezes, and I really wonder if that would have been a difference maker. Obviously, he didn't lose the main pack of it, but it wound up costing him in the end, and the Drag Rider suffered as well because they had no more support from the bats and got picked off by the defending AQ there. So a bit unfortunate. So those oohs, you know, oh, that was tough to see that happen, because I do think maybe an earlier freeze to hold off that wizard tower could have spared him a couple of more, maybe made a slight difference. So the time was still an issue. But we do have Ast coming in now and bringing us through with the super P.E.K.K.A smash. Coming back around to ground, we see Ast is a very versatile attacker here, though he does incredible air attacks. Let's see how he does on the defense, on the ground front.
You'll find out in a second, as they're already making that start on that 4 o'clock compartment. The party being taking down that scanner shot if he can. It's going to be a slow push with the Warden, but will be in range to take that down. And you were saying earlier with that last game in terms of maybe using that free spell a little bit earlier. I completely agree with you, because after all that, you know, the bats wouldn't have been able to do much anyway, because there wasn't enough DPS for the bats to then clean up anything else, and there was still the AD and some other bits and pieces there which could have easily dealt with that. So I think it was definitely possible to maybe use that spell much earlier, like you rightly said, to give the bulk of the army more of a chance to try and stay alive for the later stages of the attack. But still, though, going towards the Eagle Artillery on that south side, and that will get taken down. We can see a small Tesla farm there on that south side as well, but that will get cleaned up along with that Archer and Wizard Tower as well. But these Expos as well, all 4 of them need to be taken out in the center with the Inferno Tower as well, just trying to create absolute havoc for this attack. But Ast is doing pretty well so far, as he's realized what he's up against and has brought out the RC from that 8 o'clock side to then take out more of this defense into the center once he's taken out that compartment.
Oh, that pathing was getting a little bit wonky, and I was kind of worried. I also couldn't see where the super wizards were, but they were hiding behind the P.E.K.K.As down below, coming through. Yeti's helping to clear out the core and keeping the path moving a little bit easier, though typically you want to see them working through the back end of the base. The Queen does have her ability reserved, and we do have the Royal Champ sneaking along with an invisibility spell. This Ice Golem, unfortunately, really doing no justice for this. And look at the Queen, smart, bypassing the poison bomb. She doesn't step in it. She goes right to the outskirts, helps pick off this multi. Royal Champ, though, does not have enough power to finish off this 12 o'clock compartment, but with the Queen's ability reserved, that means she can quickly beat through the walls, get what needs to be done. And look at this Loon coming in for the cannon. No air targeting defenses around. Smart move, because that means the Queen will try and focus her way up to the top side of the base and take down what the Loon cannot.
Yeah, 35 seconds there, finding the AD Wizard and Tower and the cannon just to clean up there, which would be nicely done with 30 seconds left for mining. But do we expect anything less from him? No, absolutely not. So it looks like 9 attacks in a row, all of them being triples, looking for the 3rd perfect war here for Atn.Attax, and it's just absolute filthy. It's just brilliant to see, and it's incredible how creative a lot of these attacks are.
Absolutely, the Valk attack, come on now. We don't get to see it very much, but again, you know, these open wide compartments, easy pathing for the Queen seems to be the common denominator, but I'll have to pick Yo-Yo's brain on that one, because I know he was the one that first started it, maybe gave Boom the idea, as you mentioned. So we do have Atn going 4 for 4, as you can see on the stats here. And Penta has had, unfortunately, a rough go, though I do have to commend Muffin for really giving it his all and ensuring that he did not wind up with a 1-star, though I do think it was a bit unfortunate how that went down. A little bit of panic, a little bit of scramble, but you know, that's what's going to happen when you're going up against one of the top teams in the world. I mean, considering that they are the 2020 World Championships, you know you're going to have a massive uphill battle.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be some bumps on the road, some problems along the way, and it's weird. It's just like I was trying to say before, we don't really see Muffin act like that in that kind of like bad recovery, which is a little bit strange to say the least. So maybe he didn't expect that to happen, so he probably didn't have like a plan B or plan C. Because you've got to remember, we've had 3 play days in a row, so when you get to this third play day or like the later stages of these last play days, it means you've got even less time to kind of prepare for some of his attacks. So it's very, very difficult. And Muffin, you could see some elements of that. Maybe if he had a bit more time to prepare, he would have been okay. But, you know, sadly for him, losing those healers right at the very start absolutely cost him. But I think he realizes now that, you know, against alternate attacks, if you don't get a perfect war or 13-14 star, then yeah, it's going to definitely cause some issues. But anyways, let's go to the final attack between both these teams. Lewis is going to kick us off with the final attack for Penta against Yo-Yo's defense here, and we're going to see how he cracks on.
Ooh, so coming in for this multi-compartment, nice sail of the blimp through for the Yeti to help pick this off. Also is able to get the Clan Castler, and the only value he's looking to take down really is that multi-chamber, though he does pretty much get everything. Unfortunately, doesn't get the air defense, but let's see if this baby drag can pick it off. If not, he can send in maybe a loon or so. I'm trying to see what he has on the board here. Oh, a couple of archers maybe to ping on that? That would be good. But the pathing is set nicely, and again, it's valuable to be able to get that Clan Castler, which is huge because a queen can take it down in a position where she's not taking on too much damage. It takes a little bit of time, but it does pay off that you can keep these rages as you make through into the center of the base.
And the queen was delayed for a very, very long time, but finally gets to rejoin the action. And this is a base you don't normally tend to see quite often, so I'm interested to see how Lewis is going to approach this. The queen now just continue to take down both of those towers. The king, yeah, you can see just causing havoc on that south side as well. We'll find one of the testers, but its main purpose will be to try and get into that eagle artillery when given the chance, though. But the queen has popped ability as well, just looking to push on further into the center, but we can see those dragon riders and the warden there coming in from that north side. So let's see how this is going to pan out as the main event now just pushing into the center. The queen looking to go on through to take out that inferno tower and the town hall as quick as humanly possible. But where's the eagle artillery actually prioritized? It's actually prioritizing the dragon riders there on that left-hand side. But still, though, looking very, very good, doing a great job with his queen. Great positioning as well with these spells as it takes out the eagle artillery, giving a little bit of leadway for this attack to push into the center nicely. And now the RC does come on through from the 2 o'clock side to take out the rest of his defense.
This pathing was stunning. I love the force across from the queen into the center of the base, and while we have some of the drag riders work their way through, they still manage to continue to power along with 2 remaining here, all thanks to the royal champion who has helped flank, keep everything coming through to the back end. The queen with her ability. Only risk here right now is the matter of time, but the queen in a good spot, taking care of where the king and the drag riders are not moving. So this split has been perfect so far. Still cutting it close, 12 seconds left. And oh no, the drag rider gets distracted by the skelly, and I realize that's actually the defending king that's standing there that's been holding things up. Oh no, and that is gonna cost Lewis the 3-star. That would have been a beautiful way to finish up there. I got so distracted with the queen moving forward, not realizing that was the defending king. Oh my goodness, that is unfortunate. 98%, but I mean, this essentially was a triple. It would have been nice to see it finish off that way. You know, and that's just the name of the game, going up against ATN. You got to give it everything. They did. But sometimes it's not quite enough. And we said it earlier. How can it be enough when you go up against a team that has been putting down perfect wars? Yet to do it in this match, but we still have Yo-Yo to come in with the final attack.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Like, don't get me wrong, you can tell that alternate attacks have actually used the same, if not very similar bases than they did in their previous play days, which just shows, you know, how much time you do have to prepare for some of these wars. But even though the layout is right there for them, they still sometimes struggle to try and work out what they can do in order to try and counter a lot of this. And it's very, very tough indeed. And it just shows how much work needs to be done in order to try and execute a lot of these attacks as well. But let's be real, Penta are pretty much done anyway in this war. It's a little bit of a shame. But the more exciting thing is, will alternate attacks get their 3rd perfect war in a row? And do you know what? I wouldn't be too much of a surprise, as Yo-Yo will be coming in for the final attack as per usual. Who else could it have been? As the King Yak now does come in on that northern side, sorry, the right-hand side, with the Ice Golem as well. So we're going to see how he's going to approach Muffin's defense.
Yeah, so Yo-Yo taking some risk series, coming in with the Hogs. I can't even call it a hybrid because there's only 2 miners. So I don't know if that really counts as a hybrid. I'm curious to see what he is going to do with these 2 miners, if they're to help sneak in somewhere, pick up something along the way. But this isn't, well, I can't say it's not a usual approach. We have the King and Royal Champ working together, but he is delaying the healers on this one, sending in the Coco Loons. The Queen's not taking on too much damage and knows that the Unicorn can keep her alive, but waiting to get the proper position for it. And I like this because the Royal Champ actually comes along, sneaks her way through, also helps get the Clan Castle. Look at the timing of this zap, and it's not even a quake, but it takes down the multi in the center of the base, and he still has a quake ready to go, which he can use, I mean, I would say to activate the town hall, but is the Queen going for this is the bigger question. She's got the wall break open. She's going to take it down. My goodness, Yo-Yo is just going ham on this one.
Yeah, he certainly is indeed, and the Tommy Feed's rage spells are going to be absolutely vital coming in, but the Queen still pushing in towards that town hall. It looks like the first spell will actually come down just to give her a little bit of leadway, which is understandable because she was getting out DPS there. So they're making sure the Queen does stay alive throughout the bulk of this attack. And now you can see they're all coming from that 1 o'clock side. And you can see the blip now also coming from the 10 o'clock side as well. Just looking to pop on in to say hello to that scatter shot. We'll be dropping in nicely and we'll be trying to take out as much defense as possible in that compartment. But the Hog Riders, though, just absolute chaos and carnage there in that 10 o'clock compartment, taking out most of the defenses and perfect timing with the spell as well. And look at this, so look how much is left. Still 1 minute remaining. Still got a lot of Hog Riders left to try and deal with. But there's not really too much left here, let's be honest. Just that mortar, the Archer Tower, and that Tesla to clean up beautifully. And that's going to be about it. And look how much time is left on the clock. Yo-Yo is just absolutely unbelievable, as he will be helping towards Atn.Attax third perfect war. They're going to be incredibly happy about that. And what a high level of consistency from Atn.Attax. Just absolutely unreal. Going 15 for 15 in terms of triples. 15 stars, speak of the devil.